Okay. Told you it's going to be a busy day. We are back with next question in the group. And this is my Facebook group, How to Stop Attracting Narcissists for Women Only. So if you want to join it, it's a private group, but it's searchable. Like, you can pull it up. You can just get on Facebook and search it. If you can't find it that way for whatever reason, you can just go to my website, and it's the first. You go down to the links, and it's the first link on there. And you can just join. There's no like prerequisites or whatever. You just join. And so I posted in there, and I said, "What's the hardest thing about rebuilding yourself after the narcissist?" And I got some real good comments. So I'm doing a video for each one to answer each question. All right. So Elizabeth says, learning the little things that you lost, like down to the very routine of your day, or how to problem solve from your own lens. I love how you said that. I want to point this out. How to problem solve from your own lens. That is huge, because like I say, the narcissists, because they have to be in full control of you, they have you, they bury themselves so deep into your mind that they can twist your way of thinking, and they just twist you into a pretzel, and they twist your mind up, and they have you like not doing things the way you're used to doing because their way is better. And so they have you like forgetting how you used to do shit and questioning yourself constantly. So like, I know I've told this story a lot, but I mean, I can't help myself. One of my favorites was when he convinced me that I didn't know what I was talking about anymore, and that I was starting to think that my memory was so bad that my mind was like failing me. And I was like 28 years old, but he had me convinced that my mind was going. And we got in the car together and went to Rite Aid at the corner of the neighborhood. And he went in there and was helping me pick out memory vitamins. And I was 28, I was a vegetarian, I ate a lot of vegetables and a lot of healthy food. I did my yoga, belly dance, and I took my vitamins anyway. And I was very healthy at the time. And my goddamn memory was not failing me. Like, there was nothing wrong with me, bitch. You know, but I let him convince me that I was just going crazy. And it's because he had so much control, and he was able to just, you know, twist my mind. So they have you doing shit that you don't normally do. They have you operating in a way that you don't normally operate, and you have to like relearn how to live when you're with them, because once they jump into your life and say, okay, you know, these are the rules now, you can play by my rules now, everything just gets turned upside down. And you have to start operating the way they want you to, because they got to do what it takes to maintain their fantasy that they're building for both of you. And so you forget yourself, like you abandon yourself in so many ways, and it's like really disgusting how they do that, and how they get you to do that, and how to problem solve from your own lens. I think I want to start with that, because that's just so good. Because they'll have you thinking differently, because if you problem solve from your own lens to start with, which is what you were doing before they came into your life and things like went haywire, you were operating pretty fine before that, most likely. So operating from your own, solving from your own lens, when they come into your life and see that you're intelligent and you've got potential and you are doing good with something, or you've got a lot of personal power and you don't realize your power, that's the worst part. They choose people who are like top quality type people. I don't say low quality people otherwise, you know, because like that's not, I don't believe in that. Everybody's valuable, but you know what I'm saying? Like somebody who kind of seems like they have it all, or like they're doing really good, or somebody who's highly intelligent. They'll go after like high quality people like that, who are really smart, and they want to take on some of that smartness for themselves, but since they can't, they just control it. So then they have you thinking, you know, that you're not really that smart, or that you have to just start doing things the way they want because you've been wrong all this time and you didn't realize that. And I caught myself saying that one time. And then he tried to twist it and like show sympathy and try to like talk me out of it. But here's what happened. I was on the phone with him, I think. We were talking about something. And I said, you know, and he had just like crushed me completely. It just like crushed my soul. And I said, you know, I had no idea I was such a bad person. I got a lot of work to do. You know, a lot of inner work, a lot of personal work. And he pulled that shit that they pull where that he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, what do you mean, what do I mean? You know, this is what you wanted, you know, you benefit from me hating myself. This is what you want, you know. So like there was a part of me that knew that, but at the same time I was so brainwashed by him that that part, you know, its cries fell on silent ears. And so I was still stuck in the main part where I was like, yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Oh my God, I'm terrible. I'm the devil. What? I had no idea I was this bad. Like before you came in my life, I had no idea I was a piece of shit. Just didn't know. Well, I know now. So it's time to get to work. You know, and that's how fucked up I was. That's how messed up I was. That's how bad it was. And he had the nerve to be like, I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know why you're saying that. And it was like he was pretending to sort of show sympathy of some kind, but not really. And that it's once they realize that they've been victorious in twisting your mind, they revel in it. They won't dare show it, but they'll revel in it. You know, like they do enjoy that shit. And they try to act like they feel bad for you, or like they're going to try to help you do better or something like that, you know, to take the heat off of any suspicions you might have of them influencing your way of thinking, your new way of thinking. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a real, the mental arena with the narcissist is a real battlefield. It's so complicated. Like it's so complicated. So I try to make it easy to understand, because like the way they do things is just so mind-blowing, and you don't see it because, like I say, they're so damn good at the mental shit. But they train you how to do things the way they want you to do it, not necessarily how they do it, because the way they're doing it is full throttle manipulation, and most people don't operate that way, and you especially are not operating that way. So they can't train you to do what they're doing, but they train you to just think in a way that makes it easier for them to control you, and that's to just totally crush you with a javelin, just crush you. And so once all that's over with and you like can start your life again and just get back to living, to how to problem solve from your own lens, I would just say, look at who you were like before all that shite, and take the good points of yourself that you liked and keep that and retain that. Your innocence, your hobbies, your habits, whatever, all the things about you that you liked before they crushed you, keep all that stuff. Keep it. And then anything about you that you know probably messed you up and probably drew them in, sit down, have a think, just think about it. Just be like, you know what? That's probably why I let all this shit happen, because I was wounded and I let that fearful part of me run my decision making, and I let them in because I was desperate for love and I was desperate for attention, and they were giving it to me, and I just like let it happen. And and then you can work on that part and rebuild that part, and then, you know, you'll be all right, you know. But how to problem solve from your own lens. Yeah, I would just say go back to your innocence before they came into your life and turned it inside out. And after you figure yourself out, the more as time goes by and you start to you explore yourself more and figure yourself out more, you'll have more clarity, and you'll come up with better and better ways to problem solve and view your life and view the world from not a fearful standpoint, but from a solid, confident, very matter-of-fact standpoint, where you can say, well, you know, this is a situation, so you know, I'll go with this. And then you do that for a while, and then you'll get to the point where you can start living in your feminine again, and you can say, you know what, I'm open to the possibilities. Nothing's going to tie me down. And then that's when you finally drop the masculine way of doing things with all the rules and regulations, and you say, you know what, I'm open to whatever. But you're open to it, but you're not attached to it. You're not relying on it. You're not coming from a place of need. And once you do that, anything's possible, and you can fucking have whatever kind of life you want to have. And then, and that will be how you problem solve. You know, just to be open to anything, and that really helps. And you will get there. You will get there. Learning the little things that you lost, like down to the very routine of your day. Yeah. And like I say, just go back and think about, because the good parts, you have good points and good parts of yourself that don't need to be abandoned or left behind. Like people will say, you know, I'm going to reinvent myself and just, you know, let the old me die. You can let the parts of yourself that are no longer serving you die, and let that, once you figure it out, you let that fade out, because that's the old you, you know, the old parts of you that were hurting you. But you don't have to let go of your old hobbies or your old interests or your friends that have stuck around for so long. You don't have to let go of that. You can still keep that, you know, and still be your same old funny self, or your same old nerdy self, or your same old athletic self, or whatever it is. You can still hold on to all that. That's still you, but you're just not gonna operate from the wounded part of you that has been running everything through fear. You know, that's that part you don't need. So once you figure that out, you know, you can still reclaim all those little things that you lost. Just go back to doing it. Just go back to doing it. Like every time I get away from one of them, I'm like, all right, you know, what was I doing before this? Because I was fine before this. And just start doing it. There's nobody there to tell you can't. You know, there's nobody to correct you, or to say, you know, stop being childish or whatever. To hell with them. You do what you want. It's your life. You know what I mean? Down to your routine. Yeah, your routine. Experiment. If you want to come up with a new routine, just try it. Get up, start your day how you want, and as you go through your day, you just do what you feel like doing, and follow your intuition, and then you'll see things that work, see things that don't work. You'll figure out your body clock, and like when you're hungry and when you're tired, if you need a nap, or what kind of work schedule you should probably have where you will function the best, what kind of cleaning schedule you should have for your home, and what kind of foods you should be eating that make you feel good, things like that. You can allow for all that. Just be very open to it. Be very open to the possibilities. Be open to anything. Don't lay down any rules for yourself, because that's not where you grow. You know what I mean? And just try stuff and just experiment with things. Like I say, you live in, if you want to really grow and really do better, you have to live in the feminine, so that there's room for exploration. If there's no exploring, there's no growing. So you have to, because there's no learning. And in the masculine, when you've got all these barriers up, and it's this or it's this, you know. Like I had one of them tell me one time, I forgot what the hell we were fighting about. I have no idea what the conversation was, but I just remember standing in my closet on the phone with him, and he said, okay, so your options are this or this. So what's it going to be? And and that's just how they do. Narcissists or not, that's how they do. But the narcissist has a lot of the same qualities, just exacerbated. But but that's not, you can't operate on that. You can't sit down and look at your life and say, okay, so I've got two options here. I can do this, or I can do this, or I can go fuck myself. You know, you can't, that's no way to live. So when you're going back to like looking for the little thing, learning the little things you lost, or down to the very routine of your day, you pick whatever the hell you want to pick. It's just exploration, and you're in the realm of creativity, and anything's possible if you just want it. You can, because like I said in the other video, when you're manifesting, you say to yourself, I want it, but I don't need it. I'm not coming from need. I'm not coming from desperation, because when you're coming from desperation, that's when you get shit you don't want. Like bullshit boyfriends. Because they can smell the desperation, and you need love, and you need reassurance, you need validation, you need attention, you need whatever it is. And you're operating from that need, and they can smell it, and they will just hook on, because they thrive. When you're coming from a bad place, they really thrive, because you're coming from a place of self-distrust and self-neglect and self-hatred, etc. And when you're resonating in that, they really do well, because they can do whatever they want with you. And that's why women who really have confidence, they can't get boyfriends and or choose not to date, because it's just like, it doesn't work. It just doesn't. And shit happens, but I mean, c'est la vie. Like, I don't mind dying alone with a cat. That's fine. If she wants to eat me afterwards, that's fine too. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't need it after I die, whatever. So, because that's always the ultimate threat. You're gonna die alone with all your goddamn cats. Okay. Fine. So, but, yeah, you just, be open. Let yourself be open to anything. Be open to anything with yourself, within yourself. Like, be open to exploring anything within yourself, and don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of feelings that come up, or if you have moments where you sit down and you just feel like crying and you don't know why. That happens a lot. Just do it. It doesn't matter. Just do it. Just do it. And see what comes up, in your mind. And just see what happens. Just be open to it. Once all that stuff starts coming up, it'll pop up when it needs to be investigated. It's going to do it. It's going to be like, okay, you need to start looking at this. And you just drop what you're doing and you just look at it for a second and just examine it and be like, you know what? I got to look at this. Unless you're at work or something and you can't just sit there and start crying. And just put a pin in it and come back to it later after work. You know what I mean? Come back to that idea afterwards. When you get home, you can kind of wind down. And wind down can mean a lot of things. Can mean more than one thing, right? But, when you can, really, be alone and just kind of regroup for a second and think about what that was. And just let it come to you. If nothing does, don't worry about it. Just cry and just go back to what you were doing. It's fine. Your nervous system is just trying to re-regulate. That's it. It's not going to ruin your life. It's not going to stop your day. You know what I mean? It's like, just let it do its thing and just get back to what you're doing. Let it flow. This is what it means in the feminine, to be with the ebb and flow. The crying could be seen as an ebb, even though it's not really a bad thing. It is a good thing. But I mean, negative emotions versus positive ones or whatever, if you want to look at it that way. But if it comes to you, you just take it as it comes and you process it as it comes, and then you get done with it, and then you let it go, and then you move on to the next thing. And just do that. And that's another way to follow your intuition and to trust yourself. You just take it as it comes. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be hard on yourself about it. Don't be like, oh my God, why am I fucking doing this right now? Don't. You don't have to lay down the rules for yourself. Like, okay, this isn't the time. No, it probably is a time because it's happening now. So, just let it come to you. Let yourself come back to you. You know what I mean? You've got scattered parts of yourself that are all over the place because the narcissist was and just shattered you like a fucking Chinese vase. All those parts want to come back, you know what I mean? But they're going to come back in a different way. And and they'll do it at different times. And you just process it as it comes. And that can be a way of reclaiming yourself. Learning the little things you lost and getting your routine back. Just experiment. Whole thing is just experimenting and just seeing what happens and what's good for you. Because after the narcissist, you pretty much have to rebuild your ass completely because they have shattered you and you've got all this work ahead of you. But it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You don't look at it as a bad thing. It's not. A lot of times the narcissists come into your life and doing the shit that they do. It's hard to look at it this way at first, but after a while you'll see what I mean. You can look at it as a blessing because they have come into your life and just totally torn you to shreds. But when you put yourself back together, you're going to put yourself back together in such a way that you can be bigger and better than you ever have been. And I'd go so far as to say, and I've been tempted to do this. But I could go so far as to say, you could even be a little bit grateful to the narcissist for doing what they did to you because it prompted, they are the catalyst for you looking at yourself and saying, well, shit, I got to fix some things so that this doesn't happen again. So that's a blessing. That works out to your advantage. In a roundabout, screwed up way, they helped you. I mean, yeah, they were shite, but they helped you because you probably wouldn't have been prompted to do all that had everything just been, la-di-fucking-da. But it wasn't. They brought things to the surface, and they brought some pain to the surface that you either have been ignoring or just didn't know was there. And damn it, you're dealing with it now. So that needed to happen regardless. Better now than later. It's better to just be done, look at it now and be done with it, and not have to go any more years of your life, struggling with something and not knowing why. You see what I mean? So it's like, in a way, there have been times when I've been tempted to like find a couple of those narcissists and just actually thank them for what they did to me. Because I've grown so much from the bullshit. I've grown so much. I'm actually tempted. There's a couple of them on Facebook I could actually tag and be like, what, I just want to shout out to so-and-so because you fucking ruined me. But I put myself back together and I'm 10 times better than I've ever been. And I just want to say thanks for ruining me. Like, I've wanted to say that. A lot of times I've wanted to say that. I just haven't done it. Not yet. No, I'm just playing. I'm probably not going to do that, to be honest. But, in a way, I kind of like don't want to give them the credit. This is so stupid, but I don't give a fuck. It's whatever. If somebody gets the credit for fucking me up and making me rebuild myself, then fuck it. That's life, and that's part of it. Accepting the situation with the narcissist. My other video, where you just come to terms with it. You just make your peace with it, and you just say, you know what? Yeah, this happened. This is how I'm gonna handle it, and you just go from there. You just take it and run with it, and that's it. And it doesn't have to be some big fucking tragedy. It's just, you just take it for what it is, very matter-of-factly. You just say, you know what, yeah, this is it. Okay, what's the next step? And the next step is whatever you want it to be. So you're sort of working in the masculine and the feminine at the same time. Do you see what I mean? Because the masculine part says, okay, so let's look at this. This is what happened. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's just accept it. This is it. And then the feminine comes in and says, okay, so now the solution is going to be anything. Possibilities are fucking endless. So they can work together in that way. And that will really, really help you in life if you can get those two to merge like that. It's actually a really good ass topic for a video. I should probably do that. I should probably do that. I gotta remember it. Help me remember it so that I don't forget. Help me remember that. So, okay. But yeah, that would be, some ways that you can reclaim yourself and, problem solve through your own lens. Yeah, that was a really good comment. So thank you for that, Elizabeth. That was good. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to try to keep these sort of short today because I don't want to like overwhelm y'all, but, yeah, that was good. So just, like I say, just be open to yourself just as much as you're going to be open to everything else, and let yourself just like experience things and experiment with things on its own, and let your mind just kind of like empty out, and just kind of like experiment with shit and just feel shit out. And you can reclaim yourself that way, because the more that you explore, the more that you find, not just in the outer world, but obviously in your inner world. So try that and just and see how you do. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna turn out just fine. Like, you're gonna be all right. But the openness to the exploration is gonna be your key. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for following me. And if y'all want to subscribe to my YouTube, you can do that. I don't release videos like on a regular, I don't have like a regular day that I do it or whatever. I kind of just do it intuitively. So when somebody makes a really good comment and I think, oh man, that would be such a good topic for a video, I'll usually just tell them that, your comment has sparked something and I need to do a video on this. So thank you. So I try to screenshot it and save it so I can remember to go back to it later and do a video. So if there's anything you want me to discuss, if you want, go ahead and join my Facebook group. And you can get in there and you guys can talk all you want. And I base my topics on what y'all say in that group. So, if you want to contribute to the videos, or if you want me to just like hash something out, go for it. Join the group and just say what you got to say, tell your story, and ask me whatever you want. And, we'll get to the bottom of it and get it figured out for you. And that's it. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Holy fuck. Sorry, guys.